Jefferson High gym buzzed with energy, basketballs pounding the floor, sneakers squealing with every pivot, and scattered conversations echoing off the high walls. Near the center, Jason Miller, 18, blonde hair spiked like he rolled straight out of a sports drink commercial, spun a basketball on one finger while nodding to the beat of some song only he could hear. He didn't just walk into gym class. He arrived like he was entering an arena. Across the gym, Coach Daniels, early 40s with a clipboard in one hand and a no-nonsense stare in the other, blew his whistle. The sound didn't scream for attention. It got it. All right, let's pick teams. Let's keep it quick. Jason popped the ball into his palm and grinned. Easy. I'll take Mike, Devin, and he glanced toward the bleachers. Sitting there, same spot as usual, was Ethan Carter. 17, thin frame, messy brown hair, big square glasses. He sat in his wheelchair, hands folded neatly in his lap, observing the gym like it was a different world. His gym shirt was tucked in like always. Never complained. Never asked to be excused. Just showed up. Jason tilted his head toward him and said loud enough for half the gym to hear, "Definitely not wheels over there." The sound of bouncing basketballs slowed. Conversations faded. Ethan looked up. His face didn't change. He just met Jason's eyes for a moment, calm as ever, then turned his attention back to the floor. A few kids laughed under their breath, not because it was funny, but because it was easier than standing there in silence. Jason saw the reaction and decided to double down. I mean, what's he gonna do? Run fast? In reverse? More chuckles, mostly nervous. On the far side of the court, Devin, Jason's best friend since 5th grade, gave a forced half smile and mumbled, "Bro, maybe lay off." Jason shrugged, smirking. "What?" "I'm just saying, it's gym class, not bumper cars." Coach Daniels stepped forward, voice low but sharp. "That's enough, Jason." Jason rolled his eyes but backed off. Yeah, all good." He bounced the ball back to Mike and strutted toward the starting line, tossing Ethan a sideways glance, like he expected a reaction. Ethan didn't give him one. He just slowly rolled a little closer to the court, positioning himself where he always did. Close enough to watch, not close enough to join. On the bleachers, Sophie Reynolds, 19, curly red hair tucked behind her ears, watched it unfold with a frown. "He really thinks he's hilarious," she muttered. Next to her, Janelle, tall and always a step behind in conversation, glanced up from her phone. "Who? Jason? He's always like that." "Yeah, and it's always gross." As Coach Daniels blew the whistle again to start the game, Jason tossed a look toward Ethan. "Better move back, dude. Wouldn't want you getting run over." The ball flew across the court. The game began. Jason was all elbows and trash talk, driving hard toward the basket, yelling plays that made no sense. The rest of the class mostly ignored his extra commentary. They'd heard it all before. Ethan clapped quietly from the sidelines when someone made a shot. Even when Jason scored, he applauded. There was no sarcasm, no bitterness, just quiet encouragement. But when no one was looking, Ethan's hands stayed clenched a little too long around the wheels of his chair. The cafeteria at Jefferson High was its own jungle, loud, chaotic, and divided into invisible lines. Jocks at one end, theater kids near the vending machines, loners by the exit, and everyone else just trying to survive the 30-minute war zone. Ethan Carter sat alone at a table near the back, his usual spot, quietly unwrapping a ham sandwich from a paper bag. He had a book propped open beside his tray. A well-worn copy of Percy Jackson, the pages curled at the corners. His wheelchair was pulled close to the table, backpack hooked onto the backrest. Around him, the lunchroom buzzed. The sound of trading snacks, soda cans cracking open, someone throwing tater tots at the ceiling. Then came Jason Miller, tray in hand, loaded with fries, 2 burgers, and a chocolate milk. He strutted in like he was entering a frat house instead of a school lunch line. Behind him trailed Devin and Mike, laughing over something dumb on Devin's phone. "Yo," Jason grinned, slapping his tray down at the jock table. "Tell me you saw that backflip fail. Dude bounced like a basketball." Devin laughed, shaking his head. "Yeah, man, straight up cartoon physics." As Jason turned to sit, he spotted Ethan across the cafeteria. Cue the smirk. "Well, well, look who's still riding solo." Devin glanced over and sighed. Jason picked up a few fries and sauntered toward Ethan's table, tossing one in his mouth. "Hey, fast and not so furious," he said with a crooked grin. "You know this is a cafeteria, not a pit stop, right?" Ethan didn't look up. He calmly flicked a page in his book, then took a bite of his sandwich. Unbothered. Which only made Jason want to push more. "Don't you ever get tired of eating alone? You could park over by the vending machines, mix it up a little." Devin appeared behind him, less amused. "Dude, chill," he said under his breath. "You're kind of being a jerk." Jason waved it off like it was nothing. "It's just jokes, bro." "Doesn't really feel like a joke," Devin muttered, shooting Ethan an apologetic glance. Jason rolled his eyes and walked back to his table, laughing too loud at nothing in particular. Ethan sat still, chewing slowly. He never looked up, never reacted, but his fingers had tightened slightly around the edge of the book, and no one noticed the way his shoulders sank, just barely, as the room moved on without him. Sunlight poured over the concrete curves and rails of the local skate park. A few kids messed around on scooters, while others filmed tricks for TikTok. Music played from someone's speaker, muffled bass and random hype. Jason, helmet on, barely buckled, stood at the top of the biggest ramp with his skateboard under one foot, eyes locked on the drop below. A crowd had formed. Not huge, but enough. Devin stood at the bottom of the ramp, arms crossed, clearly unsure. "You sure about this?" he called up. "You've only tried that ramp once, man." Jason bounced on his heels, adrenaline pumping. "Yeah, and this time I'm landing it. Just keep the camera steady." "You're not even warmed up. Bro, trust, I got this." Jason took a deep breath, kicked forward, and launched himself down the ramp. For a split second, it looked clean. The board rolled smooth, the air caught right. People actually started to cheer. Then it went sideways. Literally. The board tilted just a little. Too much weight on the back. His foot slipped. Crack. Jason's body slammed into the concrete with a sickening thud. His scream cut through the music. Kids rushed over. Someone dropped their phone. "Yo, Jason, you good?" He clutched his leg, eyes wide, teeth clenched. "Ah, don't touch it, don't. Just call someone, man. Call someone." Devin was already dialing 911, panic on his face. The walls were sterile white. Machines beeped. Jason lay in a hospital bed, grimacing as a nurse adjusted his IV. A doctor stood at the foot of the bed, clipboard in hand. "Fractured tibia, torn ligaments in the ankle. You'll be off your feet for at least 8 weeks, possibly longer, depending on recovery." Jason looked stunned. "Wait, like I can't walk at all?" "Correct. You'll be in a wheelchair for a while, then crutches, then physical therapy." He didn't say anything, just stared at the wall. Jason rolled up to Jefferson High's front doors in a loner wheelchair, hoodie pulled tight, hair a mess, one leg in a full brace. He couldn't even get the door open without help. Devin came from behind and opened it for him. "Thanks," Jason muttered. Students moved past, barely glancing at him. Someone snickered under their breath. A group of girls glanced, then whispered. For the first time, Jason wasn't the center of attention, not in the way he used to be. He wheeled slowly through the hallway, and everywhere he looked, he saw it. The same stares, the same sidelong glances, the same space people gave him like he was breakable or invisible. Exactly the way he used to treat Ethan. And it hit him like that ramp all over again. The first bell rang, echoing down the crowded hallway of Jefferson High. Students flooded in from all sides, backpacks swinging, locker doors slamming, groups gathering around hallway corners, already gossiping about everything from breakups to the upcoming football game. In the middle of the chaos, Jason Miller wheeled himself through the crowd. Every turn of the wheels felt clunky, uneven, awkward, not like when he cruised down ramps at the skate park with ease. Now every bump in the tile felt personal. People stared, not openly, but enough. That glance then look away thing. The kind of look you don't notice until you're the one getting it. It was a mix of pity, discomfort, and that awkward silence people wear when they don't know how to act. Exactly how Ethan was treated, every single day. Jason's tray of books sat in his lap, barely balanced. He tried to shift, but his math textbook slipped off with a loud thunk onto the floor. He froze. Students stepped around him. Some looked. Most didn't. Jason leaned forward to try and grab it, fingers outstretched, but the brace on his leg made it hard to twist. The edge of the book was just out of reach. A group of girls passed by behind him. One of them laughed under her breath. "Aw, can't reach. Should we call AA or nah?" she giggled. Jason's ears burned, his face flushed bright red. For the first time in forever, he didn't have a comeback. Not a smirk. Not a single word. He just sat there, exposed. Then a calm, familiar voice spoke from behind him. "Need a hand?" Jason turned. Ethan Carter, same brown hair, same glasses, same calm expression he'd had every time Jason insulted him. But now, he was standing right there, holding Jason's math book. Jason blinked, stunned. Yeah, thanks," he mumbled. Ethan handed over the book. Not dramatic, not smug, just helpful. Jason took it, staring at it like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Why are you helping me?" he asked, voice small. Ethan shrugged. "'Cause you looked like you needed it." Jason looked down. He couldn't meet his eyes. "I didn't think it felt like this, being in this thing. Everyone either ignores you or makes it weird." Ethan gave a small nod. "Yeah, it's like you disappear, but people still stare at the empty space." Jason swallowed, his throat tight. "I'm sorry," he muttered. Ethan looked at him for a second, then simply said, "See you around, Jason." He turned and rolled off toward class, leaving Jason sitting there in the middle of the hall, still holding the book. And something else. Guilt. The library was nearly empty. Soft fluorescent light glowed overhead, and the faint rustle of pages turning was the loudest sound in the room. Ethan sat in his usual spot, back corner near the windows, flipping through a Spider-Man graphic novel. His wheelchair was tucked in tight under the table, and his backpack rested neatly at his side. He didn't look up when someone rolled up next to him. "Hey man, Jason, still in his chair, hood up, a little slower today. Ethan glanced over, brows slightly raised. Hey. Jason sat there for a second, fiddling with the corner of the table, clearly uncomfortable. I just wanted to say something. I've been thinking about what you said, and what I said, before. Ethan nodded, waiting. Jason sighed. I was a jerk, like a huge one. I thought I was just being funny, like messing around. But now, he hesitated, staring out the window. Now I get it. People look through you, or past you, or they don't look at all. And when they do, it's like they're sorry you exist. Ethan didn't say anything right away. Jason kept going. It sucks, and I only had to deal with it for a couple days. You've had this your whole life. Ethan slowly closed his comic. He looked at Jason, really looked at him. Not with anger, just honesty. Yeah, it sucks sometimes, but you get used to it. Doesn't mean it's okay. Jason nodded. His voice cracked a little. I'm sorry, Ethan. For real. For the names, the jokes, all of it. Ethan let the silence sit for a second. Then, finally said, Thanks. That means something. Jason looked relieved, but still awkward. I know I can't undo everything, but I'd like to try. He hesitated, then added, You, want to eat lunch together? I could use someone who actually knows how to drive one of these things. Ethan smirked. Sure. Just don't ask me to push you. I'm off duty. Jason chuckled. Genuinely. Deal. They sat there for a moment, not saying much. But the air felt lighter, like something had shifted. And for the first time since his fall, Jason didn't feel small in his chair. He felt human again. Because someone saw him.